Golden Corral is the #1 all-you-can-eat buffet chain in the United States, with an estimated $1.6 billion in sales each year, an impressive number, especially when you consider that just about every other major buffet chain in the country has effectively failed, or at the very least, they have been severely diminished from where they once were. Previous videos on this channel include the decline of Cece's, Sweet Tomatoes, Ponderosa, Old Country Buffet, and Sizzler, all of which have filed for bankruptcy at least once and have mostly disappeared. Meanwhile, Golden Corral has been much more resilient. They have survived multiple changes in the market, consumer preferences, negative media attention, a pandemic, and so much more. And after all of it, they are arguably doing better today than ever before. So in this video, I want to explore how Golden Corral has been such a standout success over the years by highlighting some of the more drastic rises and falls throughout its history. Starting off with the initial rise, not as a buffet, but as a budget steakhouse, if you can believe that. See, back in the 1970s and the 1980s, there was a trend in the industry where all these restaurants opened that specialized in selling lower grade steaks for only a few dollars. It was appealing to many customers because it allowed them to take their family out for an affordable steak dinner, which in the past would have been a much more classy and expensive experience. These budget steakhouses typically had a southwestern theme, with the biggest chain being Ponderosa. Well, in the early 1970s, James Maynard and William Corral were trying to break into the restaurant industry by opening one of these steakhouses in North Carolina. They started out by applying to Ponderosa along with some of the other similar chains to open their own franchise, but after being rejected by all of them due to lack of experience, they were able to raise enough money to start their own original concept. At first, it was called Golden Steer, but after issues registering the name, they quickly changed it to Golden Corral. They stood out from the others by offering fresher and slightly higher quality food. Unlike Ponderosa, their steaks were USDA choice beef, never frozen, and cut at the restaurants, along with their fries. Obviously, that led to comparatively higher costs, leading to losses at 2 of their first 3 locations. But as they continued to open more restaurants, they focused on smaller locations in smaller towns that were mostly overlooked by the competing steakhouses, so the higher sales combined with economies of scale helped them become profitable. Within about a decade, they had opened around 200 locations when they almost doubled in size by acquiring a competing company in Kansas called Sirloin Stockade. But by the end of the 1980s, most of these budget steakhouses were struggling. I recommend watching my video about Ponderosa if you want to hear a little bit more about the reasons behind it, but going back to my list, Golden Corral's first fall, I would say, was mostly due to Americans eating less red meat. At the time, many people were abandoning it in favor of other meats that they felt were healthier, like chicken or fish. I'm